The legit definition of a one-match show. What's going on, guys? Also, Basics here, back to another video, and today I'm here to do my AEW Revolution 2023 review, and oh god, Jesus. This show was the legit equivalent of this build. Terrible, except for one match. Okay, look, I understand that AEW is trying to do everything they can to put everyone on the card. 8 matches, and it went almost 5 hours. That's unacceptable. That is ridiculous. As much as I love the bash WWE's pay-per-views, at least it ends at a certain time and doesn't extend it. They had a 5 pay-per-view match at Elimination Chamber. And yes, while that was still 3 hours, at least you had 2 chamber matches and you had a lengthy main event. Less is more and more is less. This show, in certain matches, I feel like they're still going on till this day. Like, I am legit that the match did not end even after the bell rang. The show was bad. This was a bad show. Besides the main event, everything else was bad. So yeah, I expect to get a lot of hate from the AEW fanboys and some certain people that I was in a server in. I'm still surprised I'm still in that server. But yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you guys thought about this show. So we do have a pre-show match that was kind of bad at the last minute. We have Mark Briscoe and the Lucha Brothers versus the Varsity Athletes and Ari Daivari, Josh Woods, and Tony Nese. Look, I'm glad that all 6 of these men got to pay, especially Mark. And these guys are all good athletes. I didn't care for it. It wasn't bad. It felt like more of a glorified Rampage match or even a dark match. But it at least made sense, at least because how the hell were the Lucha Brothers not on your main card, for God's sake? Lucha Bros did their typical thing. There was some bad comedy by Sterling. And in the end, Mark got the win. He got the pin, which good. That's always good. And they laid out Mark Sterling afterwards. So there you go. And then we get these interviews by this RG City guy, which I think he does stuff on like AEW, like kind of like weird game show stuff. I have no clue. This guy was bad. I understand that I'm willing to bet that interviewing a lot of people in that moment of time is very, very, very stressful. But this guy was an utter annoyance. And that's coming from someone that's more annoying than the annoying orange, but that's beside the point. This guy felt like a mark that was an interviewer for a wrestling program. Like, that's what I was getting from. Like, this guy, he was so bad. Like, this guy, I don't hate this guy personally. I have nothing against this guy, but God, Jesus, dude, the unprofessionalism was just all full blown stupid. Like, this guy was trying to make jokes, and it just ended up falling flat. Like, I know that it's a hard job, but you couldn't have got like Lexi or hell even Marvez. And Marvez, who is just there, but even he has some insight and can at least provide for the show. I don't know, this RJ City guy did nothing. He did absolutely nothing for me. He did get one funny joke at the end, but that's about it. And then we get to the opening match. The Jassel Society is banned from ringside. Jericho versus Starks. Jericho can't go anymore. Jericho got carried in this match. They were starting to make me not care about Starks, which is an utter crime against wrestling. Jericho's done. He's toast. He is regressed horribly. This guy cannot work anymore. Like, granted, yes, you are in shape, but that does not mean that you look like a human water balloon trying to walk. This was bad. This was not a good match. There was a cool counter by Jericho where he countered the spear into a codebreaker. That was cool. That was like the only good thing he contributed in this match because Ricky basically carried throughout this entire match. There was a point though where Sammy Guevara comes down. Okay, even though the entire Jassel Society is banned from ringside, Andretti comes the hell out of left field, attacks Garcia, and Ricky gets hit with a bat after Jericho takes like 15 freaking years to hit him with a bat. Jericho didn't win, even though I thought for sure that was going to be the end of the match. But in the end, Rochambeau, and there you go. Ricky wins. Get him the hell away from this, because this feud's been terrible ever since it was first conceived. Yeah, this match was not really good, folks. It was not a good match. And then we get to a match that I feel like is still going on till this day, even though it ended. Jungle Boy versus Christian Cage in the final burial match. So basically what this match is a casket match, but it's kind of like a buried alive match. They never fully explained what the hell this match actually is supposed to be, but this thing was convoluted as hell, and not to mention this match was an utter bore fest. I about fell asleep twice watching this match, and I was all set for this pay-per-view. I was giving this pay-per-view my 100% energy, and this basically almost drained me out of it. More so than the Jericho match, because at least that match had a cool counter, and that was about it. This feud has been dragging for months. Now, I understand that Christian Cage was injured and they had to actually extend it more, but this was dragging and got stale before the match even happened. This was bad. This was not a good match. The only cool thing at the very end was with Jungle Boy finally getting a concerto and basically turning Christian Cage's brain into mush. And then Christian Cage gets put in the casket, and the casket goes. There better have been a soft landing, because that looked so comedic and looked so silly. It was kind of baffling. It was honestly really baffling. So Jungle Boy wins. Where does he go from here? I don't know. Maybe he might go for the All Atlantic Championship, or might even go for the TNT title. Who knows? And really, I don't. It's not that I don't care. It's just these feuds I don't have any interest in, because they don't give me an opportunity to be invested in them. It's kind of like with WWE and even in other promotions like New Japan and Impact. So yeah, that's it for that. And oh boy, speaking of match I can literally care less about, the Trios title match. House of Black versus the Elite. And Don Callis was on commentary, unfortunately. Because we can't have nice things in this world. Cool. House of Black win. Congratulations. You won a title that no one cared or wanted or even needed on their television. Look, it's an elite match, therefore you're going to get what you're going to get. At least they treated Brody more like a monster in some ways, which was actually kind of cool. But it's the same damn match with the Elite. It is the same damn thing, different day. And I'm going to say that about another wrestler here in a bit, but it's the Elite Bucks bullshit that you expect from every Elite match you have ever seen in existence. You're going to get the uncoordinated, flip-the-dude out horse shit. You're going to do the dives. You're going to do all this. And it's all gymnastics and not wrestling. Because that's what they are. They aren't wrestlers. They're gymnastics. God. I don't care if I piss any of the fanboys off. I really could care less. Bring on the hate mail. On my fan base, my hate mail box is going to be floating, absolutely full by the time I'm done with this review, because I have a lot of stuff to get off my chest. Because again, besides the main event, I could have cared less about any other match. Well, you're thinking to yourself, "Well, boss, why did you bother watching the pay-per-view then?" Because I expected some things to be good. This was not. The only cool thing was that the House of Black win, and even then it feels like a necessity at this point. Julia was in such a contrived spot, it was so baffling, because she's on the apron, and I'm like, okay, is she going to do the missed spot even though the ref is right there? No, she just sits on the apron waiting to get hit with the V-trigger. Like, the timing was so terrible, it was baffling. And so House of Black win, and they the lighting cue was terrible as well. It was completely off. And so yeah, there you go. House of Black win, and I don't really care. And it sucks. I like Malachi. I like Brody. I like Buddy. I do not care about the trios tag titles because they shouldn't exist in the first place. So we get to the women's triple threat. Jamie Hayter versus Saraya, whatever the hell, versus Ruby. This match was 10 minutes. They gave Saraya 10 minutes in a match where it felt like she didn't do anything. Which is fitting because she shouldn't be doing anything because she sucks in the ring. Her early stuff was pretty damn good, but after that she's been dog shit. That match against Britt Baker was a total piss break match and everyone will admit it. I love Jamie. I like Ruby. Saraya can piss off for all I care. When it was down to Ruby and Jamie, it was actually pretty solid. Whenever Saraya got in there, she was botching stuff left, right, and center. They neglected Toni Storm to this. You couldn't have put Toni in there. You had to put someone with a slinky neck that defuses her piece of shit husband or boyfriend or whatever the hell and continues to defend abusers till this day. Yeah, that's for you, Ronnie Radke. Yeah, this. Oh, God. When it came to Saraya in the ring, it was terrible. Whenever it was Ruby and Jamie, it was good. Jamie won with a roll up on Ruby, and they would get a beatdown afterwards. Ruby tosses out Saraya and Toni, and then attacks Britt and Jamie. And oh no, she joined with Ruby joined with Britt and Saraya. It's their own NWO. You're not making me not care about Ruby. First it was Toni, and now it's Ruby. Good job, Toni. You freaking idiot. Get your head out of the damn snow globe every once in a while, would you? God, jeez, that was bad. And it makes Ruby look inefficient now. Speaking of things that are making me not care about this program anymore, we get the Texas Death Match. Jon Moxley versus Adam Hangman Page. You know how I alluded earlier in my review that I said this show had the best and the worst match of the year? This is the worst match. Look, I don't care for blood in all honesty. You can bleed all you damn want in the ring. But if you rely so much on the damn weapons, it becomes just a regular death match. A hardcore wrestling garbage match. This was terrible. This is the worst match of the year. And that's saying plenty when you talk about the Bray Wyatt stuff. I thought the Pitch Black match was terrible. At least that was short and didn't go almost 25 minutes. Why did this go as long as it did? I'm going to be honest, folks. No match should have went past 15 minutes if you have a 1 hour Iron Man match as your main event. All these matches went over 10 minutes. 10 minutes. God, Jesus Christ. This match was horrible. In terms of, one, Moxley bleeds to the shock of no one. Whenever there's blood in a match, it feels special. When you overdo it, it becomes unspecial, and it becomes, oh wow, they're just gigging themselves for seemingly nothing, because they have nothing. This is a prime example of that. Moxley bleeds all the damn time, and I feel like it's a running gag at this point. He's become the modern Ric Flair, without the sexual assault allegations, allegedly. This was terrible. This was terrible. You get the barbed wire in, and even Hangman's hair got ripped out of the barbed wire chair, and then you got bricks involved, and you have a chain. They relied way too much on the goddamn weapons, and that really took me out of this match. I understand that they just want to beat the piss out of each other, but there's a certain extent to why not you just use the furniture minimally and just full on beat the hell out of each other. You don't need to put each other through barbed wire and thumbtacks in order for you to beat the hell out of each other. Now, yes, you can use the weapons to inflict more damage, but that does not mean you need to go overboard with it. This is why I don't like a lot of DQ matches nowadays, or even street fights, or no holds barred, or false count anywhere, because it relies too much on the damn weapons and not using yourselves as a freaking. Ah! I am going insane. I am legit going insane even more than I am. This match almost broke me. Not to mention, you got the fucking forks. Why is there forks in this match? At least with Homicide, I get it. At least with Abdul the Butcher and his fat ass, I at least understand it. Oh my god. You know, this is what this match gets. This is what this match gets. I am only willing to bet what Jim Cornette is going to say. I'm willing to bet he's going to have a field day with this match. Moxley lost. Oh God, this match went on forever, and it did not end. It did not end. Now, normally I wouldn't get pissed about this stuff, and if you guys have noticed, I'm really trying to tone down on the language in all honesty, because I'm trying to go through a phase in my life where I feel like language isn't really necessary, but I'm sorry. This is one of the rare times you get full-blown redhead rage, and yeah, this match can go piss off for all I care. If you guys like it, more power to you. Be my damn guest. I thought it gave this and this. This is what these matches get. So yeah, basically me blowing my damn voice out of my voice, if that's even a word, which it probably isn't. Yeah, Moxley lost. I hope everyone goes away for a couple months and eventually come back. Because this did nothing for anyone. Oh, it made Paige look more vicious. You can do that without the weapons, you know. You could have done it too, but no. You just had to do your typical deathmatch garbage. So there you go. Then we got Wardlow versus Samoa Joe for the TNT title. They literally just said, go out there, do your thing, and be done in about 10 minutes. This should have been about probably 7 minutes, in all honesty. They could have cut this match down a little bit, but Wardlow won, which kind of shocked me a bit because I thought that they were going to have Joe win and then eventually Hobbs would take the title off of Joe because Hobbs has been getting pretty damn over, but I can see why they give it to Wardlow. Look, I like both these guys, but Joe was really starting to wind down in his career, and Wardlow, they've been putting him on ice for months. Like, yeah, when he defeated MJF last year, it was cool. But now, after he won the TNT title, it feels like it feels like he's meant nothing. And I don't know what they're going to do from here. So, yeah. There you go. And then we get the Fatal 4-Way tag match. Guns versus the Acclaim versus Teenage Rejects versus the clown comedy team of Cassie and Danhausen. I didn't care. After that death match, I literally I did not care about any other match until that main event. I just didn't care. The crowd went silent after the Guns won. Everyone loves the Acclaim, Dan. Cassie and Danhausen were over, even though they're a terrible gimmick. There was terrible comedy, typical. And yeah, that's about it. Guns won, and then they talk about how they beat FTR and all that stuff. And all of a sudden, FTR show up, and Dax got cut. I don't know how, but he was bleeding from the side of his face. Shatter Machine, there you go. Just give FTR the tag titles. They should have done it when they beat the Bucks, but the Bucks didn't want that because they knew that FTR was way better than them in almost every single fragment of the term wrestling. So yeah, there you go. Give FTR the tag titles, please. And then we get to the main event: MJF versus Bryan Danielson in a 1 hour Iron Man match for the AEW World Title. That's all I need to say about this match. Whoever came up with some of the spots in this match deserve an Oscar. This was brilliant. And I've already alluded to this when I talked about the final burial match, where it felt like that match didn't want to end. This match felt somehow it went faster than the burial match, because this match felt like it flew by pretty damn quick. Like, we were like a half hour in. I'm like, dude, it felt like it's only been like 15 minutes. I literally have like no complaints about this match. Like, this is probably the best Iron Man match of all time. And considering Shawn versus Brett, that's kind of saying a lot. Like, I know a lot of people kind of think that match is overrated. In some ways it is. I'm not denying that. But I like this match just a few pair more than the Mania 12 match, because MJF was such a star, and I love all the moving pieces going with it too. Some really damn good spots. You have MJF just being a full on dick heel. Even at one point, he took a cup from a mother and like threw it in a child's face. And I don't know what actually happened. I don't know if it was actually water or apparently it was like an alcoholic beverage. But apparently the kid was upset and the mom was pissed and all that stuff. I don't see why people would get pissed off at that, because MJF was just being a dickhead heel. Now, yes, there are times where you can go a bit too far with it, but I don't really mind it. In all honesty, I just kind of just shrugged it off, be like, oh, MJF was just a heel. But you can also say, well, so and so was being a heel, but yeah, whenever they do it, they get angry, like the Lacey Evans thing. That was, first of all, that was a child disabled, and second of all, if you know anything about Lacey Evans, you know MJF was just being a prick, and that was basically it. Now, yes, the kid was upset and the mom was about to fight him, but at least the kid backstage, at least he got to, I think he met Hobbs backstage, and he got to meet some of his favorite wrestlers. So, and I think Tony Khan even apologized for it. So, I think they did all right in the end, even though it was a very questionable call. Besides that, this match was absolutely beautiful. I did not think anything in this match was terrible. Like, I did not think there was one slip up. I didn't think that they did anything wrong. I thought this match was just pure brilliance. Um, when Brian got the first fall clean, I'm kind of thinking, okay, that's a bit interesting. I wanted to know where they go with it. And as soon as I was just trying to process what they were trying to do, Brian gets low blow, so he gets another point. But MGF does two quick pins back to back, and it's all tied. Whoever decided to come up with that deserves a raise, in my opinion, because that was absolutely masterful. And then Brian and MJF, they go back and forth a couple more times. They even at one point, Brian get hit with the heat seeker after he got hit. He went through the announce table, and yet that didn't get called for DQ for some weird reason. And yet MJF with the elbow drop, heat seeker, and there you go. And then he hits a tombstone on the remnants of the table, which, ouch, that looked like that hurt, like Danielson's neck, but like that almost. Brian is bleeding. And then at one point, MJF bleeds, and he was gushing. Like, he looked pretty bad. And then Brian ties it up with a regal stretch. And then those last few minutes made the match even better, in my opinion, because MJF is literally getting stretched out of his shoes 50 seconds, and the clock's going down, and the intensity. Like, I was legit on the edge of my seat watching this. And Shivani was going insane, and everyone's like, tap, you bastard, tap. And as soon as the bell rang and the clock strikes zero, MJF was tapping out immediately. That crowd was pissed. Oh my god, they were absolutely pissed. So then, um, Shivani is like kind of talking to someone, and then I'm like, oh, there's just no way they're gonna let this thing end at a time. Lo and behold, he goes down to Justin Roberts, and it's like, well, Tony Khan doesn't want any ties, so it's a sudden death match, and all that stuff. And MJF's getting like oxygen and all that stuff because he's basically dead at this point. Running knee, but kicked out, and then gets out of it, gets out of the ring, gets the oxygen, freaking whacks Brian. That looked pretty bad. He freaking wallops Brian with that. But Brian kicks out. Um, and he gets in a label lock. Brian looks like he's about to pass out, but no, he just made it, and then he taps out. Which, that kind of shocked me because I'm like, oh, I think Brian's going to pass out, but no, he tapped out. Which, okay, I kind of dug that. Again, it kind of caught me off guard a little bit, but I understand why they did it. And also, I did like that MJF was trying to use the title belt, um, but the referee wouldn't do it, and him and referee were getting a bit of a scuffle and all that stuff. And then he got the ring, he went for the ring punch, and then freaking referee just took it, and he's like, no, no. That was great. And in the end, MJF wins by the skin of his teeth. What a hell of a main event. I legit needed a cigarette afterwards, even though I don't smoke. That was great. Everything else about the show can go piss off for all I care. But sometimes a terrible show with a great main event can make the show can make it a bit of a better grade. So yeah, not a good show. It was actually a pretty bad show until the main event. So there we go. And I did like the post match interview with MJF, um, where he was like on a crutch basically, and talk about how he proved everyone wrong, and he was like having a pickle, and he was like talking crap to one of the interviewers, like, "You want a pickle? Yeah, good. Now get the hell out of here." That was just great stuff. Those pickles did look delicious, though, I will say. So, folks, that was my lengthy review of AEW Dynamite, or AEW Revolution, if you will. I'm curious to see what MJF's going to go from here, because you're kind of at a point where, okay, he kind of beat almost every top star in the company. Where do you go from here? Does he go with Danielson, or does he go with Page? Does he go with Starks again? Would Wardlow eventually go after him? They got to figure out where they're going to go with this. So, yeah, you got to see me rant big time, and I'm curious to see the comments of this one, folks. So, what do you guys think about the show? Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, tap that big red subscribe button, and tap the bell so when I upload, you will be notified. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and most importantly, join the herd. Until guys next video, peace out.